Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and I wanted to give you some best practices in maximizing your battery's capacity and length over time. Many people ask me almost every day how often I charge, when I charge the phone, how to charge the phone, and it's pretty simple, but I wanted to go over some different things. Now, first of all, this contains a lithium polymer battery. Lithium polymer batteries do not have a memory like previous batteries did, such as NiCad or nickel cadmium batteries. It doesn't matter at what point you charge it, it won't really ruin the battery. So with nickel cadmium, you could charge them up to 100%. If you charge them at 50, it would pretty much only charge to 50% over time. That's not the case with lithium polymer. So you can charge them if it's at 20%, at 90%, it really makes no difference. And the next thing is you cannot calibrate the battery. The battery in an iPhone is not really calibratable. The software does that for you. It knows when it's fully charged, it knows when it's fully discharged, and then basically calibrates itself based on that. You can't really set it in a calibration mode and drain it all the way and charge it. That makes no difference. I know a lot of people tell you otherwise, but according to Apple themselves, there's no need to do that. And my experience has shown there is no need to do that. It will make no difference. Now, one thing to note is after 2 years of use, Apple says you should have at least 80% of your battery life. Now, this is not always the case, but if we go to this app here, Lirum Info Lite, we can actually see the battery life over time. And right here, this says battery wear level. Now, this is almost 1 year old, and you'll see right here it says the current battery capacity is at 96.55%. That means that's how much is remaining after a year of daily use. And what I normally charge with is an iPad charger. That tends to charge it faster. It will not shorten your battery lifespan. It's not that powerful to do that, really. And this is the normal iPhone charger you've got. If you've got an iPad one, you can charge with that. I charge with this all the time, and since the first iPad came out, that is all I've ever charged my iPhones with. I very rarely use this, and I very rarely use anything other than official Apple adapters. And there are some battery packs I've used from different companies when I'm on the go maybe to charge, but most of the time, almost 99% of the time, I'm using this to charge. And many people ask me when to charge the battery, and it really makes no difference. I actually charge it when I go to bed. I leave it plugged in. I wake up, I unplug it. And it doesn't matter because you can't overcharge the battery. The battery is managed by the phone's software and hardware, and it actually, once it hits 100%, it shuts off. It does not allow it to keep charging the phone because you would ruin your battery that way. It's managed through the phone, so you can't overcharge it. Now, you can drain it all the way down and then charge it, but it really makes no difference. If I'm on the go and I need battery, I plug it in. If I'm at 80%, I plug it in my car. It will charge all the way up. It makes no difference how you do that. Many people have been told otherwise, and I'm not sure where that's coming from, but over the many different iPhones, plug it in when you need to, unplug it when you're done. It won't make a difference. You don't ever need to monitor it. You don't need to look at it. It makes no difference whatsoever. Now, one of the other things, though, if you want to maximize battery life and lifespan, is to make sure you're up to date with software, but also the main thing is to avoid extreme temperatures. So 62 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit or 16 to 22 degrees Celsius, those are the optimal temperatures for the iPhone. And obviously you can't be in those temperatures at all times, but basically Apple says if you can, avoid 95 or higher in Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius or higher. And where I live, sometimes it's 100 degrees outside all the time, and you can't really avoid it. But when you can, it's probably a good idea. If you're going from your car to an air-conditioned building, that's fine. That's not a big deal. And it will actually shut off and overheat if it does that to save itself from actually killing the battery. So if it gets too hot, it gives you an overheat message, shuts the screen off, and you can't use it until it comes down in temperature. Now, there's also a flip side of that. Lower than 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius can also be bad for the battery and actually will cause it to drain faster. And that's just something, putting your battery in a freezer doesn't necessarily extend its life. It's actually bad for it over time, or actually will drain your battery faster in the iPhone. So that's just something, and that's coming straight from Apple. That's what they've actually said. Another thing to extend the longevity of your phone is to take it out of a case when you're charging. And that doesn't mean every case. It means cases that are sealed, maybe a life-proof case or something like that that's constantly sealed. It may get too hot. So if the back gets really hot when you're charging, that's what Apple suggests, is take it out of the case when you're actually charging it. So if you're charging it, the back's really warm and it's in a case and you're noticing that, take it out of the case for a little bit until it's done charging, and then it will be fine. That's actually Apple's recommendation. Now, finally, if you're planning to store your old iPhone, you want to leave it at 50% charge. So right now I'm at 34%. You ideally want to leave it at 50% according to Apple. If you're going to leave it in any storage, that sort of thing, getting rid of an old iPhone, leave it at 50% charge and leave it in a cool, dry place that's less than 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius. If you're going to do that, you need to come back every 6 months or so and top it off to about 50%. It can go 50, 60%, but Apple recommends that if you're going to do that over time, you really need to be careful and keep it at 50% to optimize the battery over time. If you don't do that and it drains all the way down, it goes to a point where it really needs to be charged again. Apple will have it charged 20 minutes before, just the software built in is how it's designed, then it will power back on. So if it's gotten to that really low power state. Now, I'll leave a link to all of these tips in the description below. This is actually straight from Apple, many of their maximizing battery life and lifespan tips. And I use my phone differently than many others. I've done different videos on that, and I get pretty good battery life over time. And my battery has lasted really well over time, and I've had no issues whatsoever. My battery life today, I'm at 34%, and I have 5 hours and 50 minutes usage, 15 hours and 15 minutes of standby. So I tend to get pretty good battery life, and that's all I do. When I go to bed at night, I plug it into the iPad charger. When I wake up, I unplug it. If I'm down during the day, even to 50%, 70%, and I want to plug it in, it makes no difference. I'll just plug it in. It won't make a difference whatsoever. It's fully regulated by the phone itself. That's it for the tips on maximizing your battery life and charging it. Let me know if you've had any other experiences, though, in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.